Good morning, fellow traders. It is 5:45 a.m. on Friday, first day of March, last day of the week. Last trading day. What are we going to do tomorrow? The markets are closed. Whatever will we do with ourselves? All right. Well, I am Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators. And as I do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, this time we are going to look at the markets together, see what's going on. Before I do that, real quick, as always, please do like, comment, or subscribe to these videos if you'd like more of them in the future and want to let us know how these are doing for you. If they are useful and helpful, please do so. We love the feedback and welcome to new subscribers. I'm going to start out with the S&P 500, like I always do. And once again, the buyers are just refusing to give up. We've just had this huge push up, this big move up since the low in December. And right now, we have formed a higher high and a higher low. And as of yet, have not crossed over the higher high. Volatility has definitely collapsed. We are in this major sell zone from this triple top back here. These three levels here combined together to make one big sell zone. And we are at a very key, delicate, important level here. I've got a retracement on here. If in fact price fails to break this higher high and breaks the higher low, then we can be looking at a retracement somewhere in this neighborhood. Somewhere usually between 38.2 and the 61.8. That's about a 70% probability that that is what's going to happen. So that is what I am looking for. But right now, anyway, the bulls are just refusing to give up. They are still trying to push this market higher and just desperately hanging on to this little push up, this retracement we've had here from the major correction. And this is just a retracement. Don't overlook that. We have a pattern of lower lows and lower highs and lower low, and right now still a lower high. So at the moment anyway, this downtrend is still intact. So that means we could have further downside to come, and it's possible we even could take out this low here. If the momentum is strong to the downside, that could happen. So at a minimum, a retracement, a pullback here is really overdue, and this is a key level where it looks like it's most likely to happen. So trade very cautiously at this point. If you're trading to the long side, be really careful. The bigger trend is down, even though we've had this huge push up. And you just got to be really careful if you're trading on daily charts. Now, if you're trading on intraday charts, trading shorter time frames, it's a different picture. You've got opportunity in both directions pretty much every day. Right this instant, the trend is up. But as I said, we've got this level up here, and that is a very critical level. If price cannot get over that, then we can expect price to retreat from this level. And we've got kind of a minor sell zone right about there. So we only have about this much room before I would see price starting to bump its head into resistance. So not a whole lot of distance there. So just be really cautious and watch for a takeout of this low here as your first kind of warning that this trend has faltered. And of course, if it takes out this low back here, then you can expect continued momentum to the downside. That is going to be the more pivotal level is that low there. So just be aware and trade accordingly. Crude oil is still trying to push itself higher. Right now, anyway, we are in an uptrend. We've got higher highs and higher lows. We took out the previous lower high, and we are marching upwards. We've got this lovely trend line moving to the north, and price is just every time it comes down to it, it holds and bounces off of it and moves higher. Right now, this is the key level to watch for a break, and you can see price attempted it, just barely poked above it, and then was slammed back down again. So the bulls are experimenting. They're pushing up to see, can we do it? Can we do it? So the bulls are definitely still strong in crude oil, and the trend is most definitely still up. No question about it. That being said, it has not really established a return into this area here yet. It's working on it, though. No question, it's higher highs and higher lows. So at the moment anyway, you have to trade with the trend, and that is to the upside. No question, the bulls are in charge in crude, and they've got pretty much this entire move that they could potentially start retracing. So trade with the trend at the time for the time being. That is to the long side. Gold is having a little bit of trouble lately as this broader market continues this crazy push up and just will not let go. Gold has come back and retested this previous channel line, the top of this channel here, and it's gone right to it and held right at the top of it. So at the moment, anyway, the uptrend is still holding, but it is looking a little bit weak. We formed with a higher high, higher low, higher high, and right now we are exactly at that higher low. So this is a delicate area. If price breaks that level, then it's possible that the trend is done. We'll need to see if it comes back, retests. If it comes down and retests as support, or sorry, as resistance and fails, then we know that that trend move is done, and now there needs to be a retracement, and we can pull a retracement from the low to the high here and see where might that retracement go and get our various retracement levels, something like that. So watch out in gold. We have broken the trend line. The 21 EMA, you can see it right there. It's curved downwards. It is hooking over and starting to head to the south. So this is a very key level, is basically this low right here. Again, we've broken that upwards trend line and held below it. So right now we've got this buy zone here holding price up, and we'll just have to see, can it actually continue to hold, or is gold going to take a break from this up move and pull back and retrace? Natural gas is also holding nicely at these levels. It's going pretty much sideways right now. The last handful of sessions is pretty much just sideways, but we've got a nice uptrend line there, and price is continuing to march higher. It did break over this high here and is working on holding that and then marching higher. So right now we've got this buy zone here, was a sell zone. Now it's a buy zone. Price has gotten over it and come back and held. So at the moment, again, the trend is up. You can draw a trend line that goes along those candles there. And every time you get a pull back to that trend line, you're looking for a long entry. You're looking for confirmation that it wants to bounce to the upside. Next major level to test would be this here. And then after that, we're pretty much looking at this and then here. So natural gas definitely working on climbing to the upside. You can see very clearly the trend has flattened out. Right now, it's sideways. We don't have really a full-blown bona fide bull trend yet, but we are making that initial pattern of higher highs and higher lows. And so we just need to see price has made a higher high. It's going to need to pull back and form a higher low and then break higher. Once we see that pattern develop, then we know for sure we have a bull trend to the upside. That being said, we are over this trend line here, so I am going to delete it since it no longer applies. All right, and let's finish up with Bitcoin, the crypto market. Still sideways, still the same picture from Wednesday. And we had that big move down all of a sudden and then sideways. And as I'm always mentioning, that's what Bitcoin does. Sideways, big move, sideways, relatively big move, sideways. This is what crypto tends to do. Bitcoin tends to do is just these huge move, sideways for the most part. Little pokes above and below because this is a very volatile market. This is just what crypto does, what Bitcoin does. It is extremely volatile. So right now, anyway, we're still just kind of in nowhere. We're just hanging out in the middle. We have managed to bounce over this triangle that was shaping up and have held it as support. So initially, anyway, that's looking like a potential bullish sign. But really, until we get over this 44.15 or so level, none of this really means anything. It's all just kind of noise bouncing around, not making a higher high, which would get over this level, and not making a lower low, which would get below this level. So we're just sort of stuck in the middle and kind of uncertain and unclear where it's going. Right now, if you think of this as your you could call this your resistance area. This is your support area. Then we're just in the middle right now. We're nowhere. There's no clear buy. There's no clear sell. We're just stuck in the middle with nothing really going on. So this is a tricky market, definitely, no question. Until we establish a trend, because it hasn't really been in a trend for a while. Now that being said, there's a lot of distance between these areas. From the bottom here, the low here to the high here, that's a big range. So there are trades to be had, but the trouble with Bitcoin, you got to catch these massive, crazy moves that happen unless you're going to just look to scalp really small profits. Which even in Bitcoin, or even a really small profit in Bitcoin can be reasonably substantial. It can be $100 move. That's not at all uncommon for just sort of a typical little wiggle. So you can definitely trade Bitcoin on the smaller time frames, but always keep in mind the volatility, because when these big moves happen, all of a sudden they happen very, very quickly. If you're on the wrong side of them, not prepared to jump out of the way, you could definitely get hurt. So trade cautiously in Bitcoin for sure. All right, let's take a last peek again at the S&P 500. Nothing exciting has happened in the last 10 or so minutes. Not terribly shocking there. This is still, as I said, a pattern of higher highs and higher lows, but we are up in a very significant resistance area. So just be really careful if you're thinking of buying anything to the long side. Be really cautious. Keep your stops tight, and keep your money management solid, your position sizing reasonable, and just all of that stuff. Be ready for a correction, because markets will correct 100% of the time. They always correct, and we are due for a correction in this market right about now. It's just what makes sense. So trade accordingly. That is it for the analysis this morning. I am going to go get myself ready for our premium chat room, which will be starting in about 20 minutes or so. So if you are on this analysis, don't forget, join us in the premium chat room, and we'll look forward to seeing what Tom has to say about what the market is going to be bringing us this fine Friday trading day. That's it for me, Jonathan Van Clute with Stock Navigators. Again, asking you to please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, and give us feedback. Give us your comments. We love to see them and love to know what we can do to help you further with your trading. All right, everybody, until Monday, have yourself a great trading day. Have yourself a great weekend. And I will look forward to doing this analysis all over again on Monday morning. Take care. Good trading.